shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Behave yourselves!
Hello YouTubers out there, this is Jerry Saravia at the movies. I have not been able to do very much of anything for almost a week because I had to change my cable provider and get bills on my name, and it's a whole big mess that's been going on. Anyway, leaving that all aside, for all you recurring subscribers who watch my videos, we're doing a special movie review today, and this is a film that I would definitely say is one of the few perfect, dare I say, romantic comedies ever made. But as a comedy and with a dramatic bent, and speaking of a time that no longer exists, this remains one of the few really perfect comedies that I've ever seen. And it's back from 1931, so we are talking about City Lights. Charlie Chaplin. This is an extraordinary film. I had seen this before years and years ago, probably only really once. It's possible I've seen it more than once, I'm sure. The one Chaplin film that stays with me the most is probably Modern Times. And I really like The Gold Rush. I absolutely love The Circus, if none of you have seen it. I'm not as big a fan on The Kid, which I think is a good movie, but not a great one. But then again, I don't always expect this man to make a great movie, but he has done so many great ones. If this is not his absolute best film, it's damn close. I don't know for sure. I still got to see some of his later efforts, believe it or not. Limelight, and I did see The Great Dictator, which I really did like. I wouldn't put it on the pantheon of really great films by Charlie Chaplin. But to have done City Lights, The Circus, and Modern Times. Modern Times is one film I always returned to back in my young days. So that probably is my favorite, really. But this, it almost takes the throne as the best Charlie Chaplin film that I've seen. Okay, so the story of this picture is he is, of course, the tramp character, as he's played numerous times throughout the early part of his career. He finds this woman, played by an actress named Virginia Cheryl, and she is selling flowers. He finds her in the street corner, does get a flower, and she turns out to be blind. A car shows up, and Chaplin, what he does is this little trick that Harold Lloyd sometimes would do, which is to get in and out from the other side, the passenger side. The doors are always open, so, and as he exits, he finds this blind flower girl. Since she's blind, she mistakes him for being wealthy. And he does get a flower, and then later on in the picture, he gets more flowers. But he doesn't know that she is mistaking him for being wealthy, because then the car door, for the vehicle that was on the side of the road where he got out from the passenger side, closes. The actual guy who is driving that vehicle gets in, closes the door, and takes off, and then she assumes that he's gone. So she thinks he's well. I mean, it is extraordinary how that is done. The rest of the film then deals with this drunken millionaire who's ready to commit suicide. And the tramp saves him. The little tramp saves him. And the drunk millionaire only likes the little tramp as his friend, whom he invites to his home and takes him out to these ritzy, wealthy, only for the wealthy type restaurants. When he's drunk, he loves this guy. When he's not drunk, he has no idea who this tramp is. I mean, it's really very comical, terrific stuff throughout. In particular, Chaplin at one point receives a meal of some kind that has like a dome shape, and I don't know what this meal is, but it looks like a flower, and he is not sure he really wants it. And then a gentleman is seated next to where he is, and he's bald, and he has some sort of flower petals, like a wreath around his head. And so it looks exactly like the meal. And then he decides to eat it and starts cutting into the guy's bald head and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" You know, that's what the movie's full of. City Lights is the type of film I would say you are best at really discovering it on your own. I can't really say lavish enough praise on it. It's consistently funny. It is wondrously inventive from one shot to the next. I don't know if I laughed nearly as much at any other Chaplin film other than Modern Times. This movie is true perfection in every way. It is amazing that he found stories that he could make up about the tramp and make them seem new and inventive each time. It is amazing, because you would think that he would be repetitive and after a while start repeating some of the old gags, but no, he finds fresh new territory. He mines fresh new territory every single time. The drunk millionaire, you know, it's not like there's really a specific plot to this movie. There's a drunk millionaire, and then occasionally he runs into the blind flower girl. And he really does care and love her very much. He tells her, because he finds an ad in the paper, that the scientists in, I forget, I'm sorry if I don't remember if it was Italy or somewhere in Europe, they can restore her sight. And he tells her about that, but he's not too sure it could be for real. She's not too sure. And the ending of this film, City Lights, is one that is extraordinarily moving. It didn't really reduce me to tears, but it was close. But there was something about it that was so humanistic. The whole film is so humanistic and so terrifically comedic. And he is so good at just developing these situations. They just sort of emerge. Like, this is not the type of film that you could write a screenplay for. From what I understand, a lot of this just came to his head, and then they started making this film. It's an extraordinary achievement. I mean, he was a true genius. Charlie Chaplin was a true genius. You know, you have Buster Keaton, you have Harold Lloyd, who I truly love, but there's something really extraordinary about Charlie Chaplin. He really tapped into the humanity of his characters. Not to say the other two didn't, but there was something that we kind of saw ourselves. It's an empathy. We saw ourselves as the tramp, and he was working with that. Anything that we observe or see, a little bit of thunder out there, sorry about that. Anything that he observes or sees, we see kind of from his point of view, and we start to relate to it. Even the comedic situations, of which there are several. I just can't say enough good things about it. It's just mind-blowing. It is truly mind-blowing. So check out City Lights, please. If you have a DVD player or a Blu-ray, buy this film. Even if you're not a Chaplin fan or you've never seen a Chaplin film, start with this movie. Absolutely. This would be an excellent introduction, I think, to Chaplin. I can't imagine anyone not liking this movie. You may not think it's great, but you certainly will adore it. It's an adorable film. It really is. And I would say officially it is in my list of one of the greatest films ever made. City Lights is amazing. You know, I wish they would do romantic comedies like this today, but they don't do silent films anymore. This is a silent film, technically. And it did well. You know, people went to see it. It was just, he was an icon. He was more than an icon. You know, Charlie Chaplin was an institution. That's what he was. And a true genius. And for those of you which I didn't know until I watched some of there's a couple of documentaries in here that are really quite good. This is from the Criterion Collection, by the way, City Lights. I didn't know this, but for those of you who are Kubrick aficionados and know that Kubrick would demand retakes, he still holds the record for 300 takes of one scene in the film. And I think it's the one where she tries to sell the flower to Chaplin. 300 takes. He always did a lot of takes. There's Kubrick, but let's not forget Chaplin. Oh yeah, a lot of takes on his movies. A lot. He demanded perfection, and well, the quality's there. Whether not a lot of people always got along with him. Interestingly, the woman who plays the flower girl, Virginia Cheryl, did not get along with him at all, and so he kind of chastised her because she would go out at night and party and do things like that. And you would never know it from the character she plays. It's a 180 from, I guess, the real Virginia Cheryl. So check out City Lights, please. If you have never seen a Charlie Chaplin movie before, City Lights, I would say, is the one where you should start. Absolutely. I wouldn't even start with the silent films that he did, the early 1 reel, 2 reels. Start with this film. It will make you love Charlie Chaplin in such a way. This is a film that I probably will return to, if not once a year, every other year or so. I will watch this again. I could watch it again right now. I'm not going to, but I could. Amazing. Terrific. Fantastic. There are just way too many superlatives I could give. I was extraordinarily moved by this movie. And I'll tell you a little story. My father was watching it. It was more than 20 years ago when he was still living. And they were showing the film. I don't know if it was Turner Classic Movies or somewhere else. And the ending of the film arrives. And there's the flower, the recognition, I'll just leave it at that, between Virginia Cheryl as the flower girl and the tramp. And that moment of recognition is something a lot of people talk about. Because it is one of the most moving scenes you'll ever see. There's no way you wouldn't be moved by it, but it really helps to watch the entire film to get to that ending. However, out of context, if you just watch that scene and not know what preceded it, it may still actually work. It may still move you. It's really that good. And my father, who was not always known for getting teary-eyed, certain films, I think, I remember Saving Private Ryan, he got a little teary-eyed at the end. But he was in tears at the end of this film. And I'll never forget that, So, check it out, City Lights. Let me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Have you seen City Lights by Charlie Chaplin or any other Charlie Chaplin movies? Like I said, there are only a few that I've really seen. I still got to watch Limelight, which is on my list. It's one DVD that I have. But tell me your thoughts, please, on Charlie Chaplin. What do you think of him? And I guess that's about it. That's all I got to say. There's not enough for me to say. Watch this movie and then get back to me. But if you've seen it already, please let me your insights on City Lights, what you think of it. It is definitely for movie buffs, movie lovers. And in this day and age, especially now, I'll say this movie will fit the bill beautifully. You will be engaged by it. I mean, there is no way you couldn't be. It's just an amazing work of art. So, tell me your thoughts. What Chaplin movies do you love? Is this one of them? Are there some other ones that you love even more? Let me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Maybe some of you even love A Countess in New York. I don't know. A Countess from Hong Kong. I think that was the last film he did with Marlon Brando and Sophia Loren. I've never seen it. I think I've seen bits and pieces. I never saw the whole thing. Someday I will. It's considered one of the least films that he has ever done. But oh well, this is what happens with directors. At some point, you're going to create one film that will not be loved by everybody. But anyway, tell me what you think. If you are a subscriber already, thank you. And if you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. And for those of you who do subscribe, please hit the notification bell for future uploads. And I hope to be doing more videos soon. So, City Lights. Can't say enough great things about it. It is a masterpiece. So, that's all I got to say about that. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.